What's up, you guys? Welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 Hulks in Heroclix. Now, there are a bunch of new Hulks supposed to come out in the upcoming Disney Plus Next Phase set, but honestly, I don't think any of them are going to really shake up this list too much. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, but I really like this list currently, so without further ado, let's get right to it. Alright, so starting us off here at number 5, we have the Gamma Clap Hulk from Avengers Forever. I love this Hulk. It looks super awesome. Doing his, signature clap attack here. Very cool. So yeah, the sculpt's awesome. But this guy's really one of my favorite Hulks of all time. And obviously he's making the top 5 list for a reason. So he's got Avengers, Defenders, and Scientist keywords. He does have improved movement to destroy blocking, which is great. You love to see that on a Hulk. But yeah, he's got this awesome Gamma Clap special that once per range attack, when Hulk or an adjacent friendly character would be hit, you may roll 2d6. If you do, and your roll is equal to or greater than the attacker's finalized attack roll, the attack automatically misses all targets, and after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to the attacker. Protected Pulse Wave. So this is amazing. It not only protects him, but also adjacent friendlies from range attacks. And you just roll the 2d6, and you just have to get equal or greater to their attack roll, not necessarily their attack. So like if they had like a 15 attack, right, and they roll a 5 and get a 20, you're not trying to beat a 20, you just have to beat the 5 that they rolled. So that's pretty easy. You could roll a 6 or 7 pretty easily most of the time, hopefully. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You just have to beat that attack roll and you deal them a penetrating damage back and you don't take anything. And also, it's protected pulse wave, so even if they pulse wave you, you're still going to be able to hit them back with that clap, which is super nice. And then he's got a stop with regeneration and impervious, but succeeds on a 4 through 6 and can reduce penetrating damage. And he's got safeguard outwit. So that's awesome. And he's got 3 clicks of that, like most of these new 200-point characters have. And then he has Battle Fury Close Combat Expert on his special damage power. So you can take a look at his dial there. A whopping 200 points with 3 stop clicks. A lot of 19 invincible there at the top. 12 super strength, 12 charge, 4 damage, close combat expert. So he's going to hit you for at least 5 on his own, easily 7 with some super strength, picking up some terrain or something. He already has giant reach, but sometimes you can get a little extra reach depending on what terrain you're holding. And yeah, just 12 charge is really far nowadays, so that's great. And with Avengers team ability and close combat expert, he could easily have a 14 attack top dial by himself. And yeah, just those 3 stop clicks make him really hard to KO, especially because they can reduce penetrating and whatnot. And yeah, just really awesome, really, really strong Hulk. I love this Hulk. He smashes things. And he is not afraid of getting shot at all. That is usually one of the big weaknesses of a Hulk, is as strong as they are up close, they're susceptible to range attacks, and they get blasted down sometimes before they can get up there, but he does not care. He has good odds of hurting you back. You don't want to shoot him, is the crazy thing. You actually prefer to get up close and punch him, which is also scary because he's going to just smack you down. So in my opinion, this guy is the funnest Hulk we have for sure. I actually really want to put him at number 1 just because he feels the most like Hulk to me. He's big, 200 points, he's giant size. So I forgot the fact that, that gives him willpower also. So he can keep going and going and going with the giant size willpower. And, of course, just the giant reach helps with his own attacks and everything. And he's just such a monster. I've gladly gotten my butt kicked by him a few times. I don't really care because he's such a cool character. Honestly, the only thing holding him back is that he is 200 points. You just don't have a lot of room to work with there to give him, a lot of extra support or anything. Not that he really needs it that much because he is such a good Hulk, but yeah, you want to put him on a decent team anyway, and that's the only thing holding him back is his high point cost. But he's well worth it, a ton of fun. I love this figure. He really feels like the Hulk playing him. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 5. All right, coming in at number 4, we have the rare Hulk from Avengers 60th Anniversary, the Gray Hulk. And yeah, this dude is pretty freaking awesome. Very good for pulp events. So he's got the Avengers and Defenders team abilities, Avengers, Defenders, and Brute keywords. And then his trait here says, when Hulk destroys 1 or more pieces of terrain after resolutions, heal him 1 click. If it was a terrain marker, roll a d6 and heal him half the result instead. So that's really great, just being able to run through blocking terrain or even just terrain markers, blowing him up, healing a bunch back is super good, especially with the improved movement, destroys blocking, of course. So he really just feels like a rampaging Hulk, just tearing through the whole map, destroying everything, healing up whenever he takes a hit. And yeah, he's got charge, 12 attack, super strength, an 18 invincible, and a 4 damage close combat expert. So again, he's only 100 points, so he's half the points of the last Hulk we took a look at. But he is hitting you just as hard with that super strength and close combat expert. And Avengers, again, getting him up to at least a 14 attack on his own, potentially 7 damage with some terrain. So yeah, this dude, super strong. Not quite as durable because he doesn't have many stop clicks, but that's why he's half the points. But he does have willpower, and his defense powers have protected outwit, which is really, really nice, especially top dial with the invincible. Once you get to the impervious and invuln later, you could get penetrating blasted, which could suck, but, he's got a 19 impervious there in the middle. Then he goes up to, like 4 and 5 damage with some Battle Fury and Flurry, so he's capable of doing some massive damage. He does just have, like, a really short charge range to start with, only having a 6 movement, but, a little TK or somebody to carry him, it really helps just to get him into position. Falcon from the Avengers 60th set's great to, kind of airdrop him, right? So there's a lot of pretty easy ways to help get him into the fight there. And once he gets into that fight, he's going to tear things up. He's going to do tons of damage, absorb a ton of damage. Being protected outwit on all his defense powers is great. Traded willpower is also a defense power, so they can't even outwit that. So he's great, and for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 for me is the Uncommon Hulk from Avengers 60th Anniversary. And I love the sculpt on this guy. I know some people hate it, but I think the tiny head and the huge arms is just so perfect. I don't know. I love it. I think it's hilarious and awesome at the same time. Just looks so cool. And yeah, we'll take a look at his card here. Now, he's coming in at only 75 points, but he's actually very similar to the one we just took a look at. He's got a trait that says Hulk can reduce penetrating damage, and when Hulk is dealt damage, roll a d6 and reduce the damage by half the result. So although the last Hulk has, protected outwit on his defense powers, this isn't actually a defense power. It's not invincible, impervious, anything like that, so it can't be outwitted either. And it also can reduce penetrating damage. Now, if you roll low and only roll a 1 or a 2, it's only going to be the equivalent of a slightly better version of toughness. But otherwise, it's going to be at least invincible or better traded that's unoutwittable in a sense. So it's very, very strong trait there. It really helps him absorb a ton of damage. And if you're rolling really good on that, he can reduce 3 penetrating damage at a time. And that gets pretty ridiculous. But yeah, top dial stats, very similar. 6 movement charge, 11 attack super strength instead of 12. But 18 with willpower and 4 damage with close combat expert. Again, he still has some willpower there, and he still has the ability to heal up with the back half of his dial being regeneration and some flurry with steel energy and the Battle Fury too. So yeah, he can keep healing himself up little by little. He can absorb a ton of damage, and he can deal out a ton of damage. He still has Avengers TA and Defenders TA with close combat expert with a 4 damage and super strength. So he could easily get himself up to a 13 attack with close combat expert and Avengers TA, and still be hitting for 7 damage with the super strength and close combat expert. So yeah, he's hitting just as hard as any of the other Hulks we've been looking at, and he's only 75 points. So he's already 25 points cheaper than the number 4 Hulk, and that one was already half the points of the number 5 Hulk. So that's pretty much why I chose them in that order. They do very similar things, just much less points. And for all those reasons, that's why he's coming in at number 3. All right, moving right along to our number 2 Hulk here is the Legacy Hulk, originally from Avengers Assemble, and now with the new Legacy card from, again, Avengers 60th Anniversary. Kind of feels like a Hulk set at this point. Yeah, this Legacy card makes him so much better. Again, Avengers and Defenders team abilities. Avengers, Defenders, Illuminati, Brute, Monster, and Scientist keywords does give him a lot more teams to work with. And then you have a trait that says once per game when Hulk would be KO'd, instead turn him to click number 11, Protected Pulse Wave. So they have to get through his whole dial, and then he turns to click number 11. So first of all, his special movement power does give him charge, flurry, and plasticity. Gotta love that. But then you can see here the specials he has on click number 11. When Hulk would take damage, instead turn him to click number 4, protected pulse wave. And here he has outwit, perplex, and probability control, and regular size, and safeguard outwit. Because this is Banner, basically. He gets hit a bunch, he would be KO'd, he turns back into Banner. He's got Perplex, Outwit, Prob, Stealth, and then if he would take damage, boom, he goes back to click number 4, turns back into the Hulk, and they have to KO him all over again. So yeah, for only 100 points, he's really tough. They've got to go through his dial 1.5 times with kind of like a couple of pseudo stop clicks in there with the going to click number 11. And the Avengers TA definitely helps him out, bumping him up to potential 11 attack top dial, which he really needs. He could really use some close combat expert. I will admit this guy is a little bit softer than, the other 3 we just took a look at, with only a 17 invincible going down to a 16. And then eventually back up to a 19 on his last click. His dial's kind of all over the place. He doesn't start with super strength, unfortunately, but he does start with the charge, flurry, and plasticity, and he does at least have shape change, which, if I'm honest, at this point, I feel like numbers don't matter. A 19 defense is great, but I would take a rollout over that any day. Just having that 1 in 3 chance of avoiding the damage altogether. It's super easy to get characters up to like 14, 15 attack nowadays. So the difference between a 17 defense and a 19 defense hardly matters anymore, in my opinion. I'd rather have the shape change. So I feel like that does make him pretty well protected there. And if he does get hit, the invincible will help, absorb some of that damage. Plus, he does ignore and destroy blocking terrain, and he's giant size for that giant reach and that super duper willpower to keep going as well. So you gotta love those. And yeah, I just really like this Hulk. He's also like the best pilot in the game for anybody that can pick him. Currently, we have Capwolf and Blade, and so he makes a great pilot choice for either of those new vehicle characters. And if we get anybody in the future that gets it for, Hulk or Avengers, Defenders, Illuminati, Brute, Scientist, or again, Monster, he's going to be your number 1 go-to pilot. I can almost guarantee it. Just because popping out on that last click with that 12 attack precision strike and 6 damage is super nuts. And yeah, obviously you might not see that during a regular game, actually playing him at 100 points, but if you do, and they don't manage to KO him, they're going to regret it, because he's going to get in there, 12 movement, charge, flurry with a 12 attack, 6 damage is ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know, I love this Hulk. Like I said, they got to get through him, and then they got to hit Banner, and then you gotta get through him again, so it makes him really annoying to deal with. Even though he doesn't have super strength top dial, the flurry really helps put out a ton of damage as well. So he's still doing a ton of damage, which is what I really want to see from a Hulk. I want him to be able to do a ton of damage and take a bunch of hits, and that's what this guy can do. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 2. All right, you guys, as always, before we get to our final pick, we have some honorable mentions. Actually, in this case, I don't have that many honorable mentions. If you want, you can go and check out my old top 5 Hulk video, and you can take a look at some of the ones that I really loved a few years ago. To be honest, I don't know if it's because the rules have changed, or maybe my own personal play style and my own personal tastes have changed, but I don't really feel like there's a lot of great Hulks anymore outside of the ones I'm showing off currently in this video. These top 5 are really the only ones that I ever feel like playing anymore. I look at some of the old ones and I'm like, geez, I used to love him, but he's 300 or more points and I just can't do it anymore. And some of the rules have changed. So like, some of their effects don't really work how they used to anymore. So that kind of sucks. If I had to give anything an honorable mention, I would probably say I'll give an honorable mention to Immortal Hulk. I'll put him on screen for you guys. Everybody always yelled at me in my last top 5 video for how could you not even have Immortal Hulk in your top 5 anywhere? He's definitely easily the number 1. I don't know. I never liked him. I still don't really love him, but his actual errata did make him a lot better. And he kind of just, rotated out right after that errata anyway, so it didn't really matter. So yeah, I don't know. He's pretty cool. He kind of just starts as Banner, and you have to like hurt him to turn him to Hulk. I just never really liked that aspect. But besides that, he's really hard, to get through. You have to KO him multiple times, and he does have really high stats and good powers, so he's all right. So with his new errata, I would say he is worth an honorable mention. mention nowadays. And I will also mention we do have a lot of Hulks to look forward to in the Disney Plus Next Phase set. We've already seen a few of them previewed. My favorite one I've seen so far, I think, was the Uncommon, but all of them are like the Smart Hulk, so, you know, none of them really play how I want a Hulk to play. They're all got like outwit and stuff, and that's like, whatever. But who knows, maybe there's one we haven't seen yet that shortly after posting this video, we'll get like a Chase Hulk. There is supposed to be a Hulk and She-Hulk duo, which could be really cool. But honestly, I just don't really see any of them beating the 5 that are currently on my list. So without further ado, let's get to my number 1 pick. And the strongest Hulk there is, smashing his way to the number 1 spot, is the rare Prime Hulk from Avengers 60th. You can't tell me this set wasn't a freaking Hulk set. There's just so many freaking good Hulks in this set. It's nuts. Literally all my favorite Hulks, except for the one from Avengers Forever, came from this set. And this guy's just a green version of the rare, because it's just the Prime version of him. But this guy, again, Avengers and Defenders team ability, Avengers, Defenders, Brute, and Monster keywords. And his first trait here says, if Hulk started the game on his red starting line, he may only heal from his Path of Destruction trait, and when he does, he may heal past his starting line. So he's coming in at 90 or 10 points. And you can see there, he just has 1 click of health at 10 points. Improved movement destroys blocking. But he can heal past the starting line, so you definitely never want to play this guy at 90 points. You always want to play him at 10, because for 10 points, I mean, there's no real better deals, except for maybe the 10-point Colossal Carnage Retaliator or the new 10-point Daredevil. But this guy, I would say, is just right there next to him as the best 10 points. Like, it's one of those 3. But anyway, his next trait here says, when Hulk destroys 1 or more pieces of terrain after resolutions, heal him 1 click. If it was a terrain marker, roll a d6 and heal him half the result instead. Now, this did get an errata to just kind of clarify a few things. It kind of just makes it work how it should, how it sounds. Like, you're not basically able to heal multiple times for walking through multiple pieces of blocking. It's like they changed it to once per action when the Hulk takes an action or something after resolutions. You know, he heals 1 for if he destroyed any blocking, yada yada. So yeah, basically you walk through some blocking terrain, you heal a click, you break a terrain marker, you roll a d6 to heal that half the result. So really, really strong effect. So you just kind of want to use your first turn or 2 smashing terrain markers to heal them all the way up to top dial. And that's really easy to do. I've pulled it off a few times. I've seen other people pull it off tons of times. So yeah, it's not really hard at all. He has willpower, and Hulk's defense powers have protected outwit, so he's got the same gamma powered trait that we saw earlier. So yeah, very strong. All of his defense powers protected outwit, willpower also that's protected outwit. And the real thing here that you want to know is he really needs to be equipped with something to make him like super over the top. So, you know, back in the day when he first came out, that we had the Cloak of Levitation for 5 points to give him sidestep, plasticity, and flight. In Silver Age, that's still the go-to, I would say. But nowadays we do have the Motorcycle and the Hell Cycle. Hell Cycle can give him sidestep as well as poison, I believe. And the Motorcycle has an effect that gives him improved movement characters and free move 1 square and combat reflexes. So I prefer the Motorcycle right now for those options. Yeah, giving him the combat reflexes and the improved movement characters is great. And the free move 1 is all you need, because you can just give him a free move 1. You know, say this is a terrain marker, not actual printed terrain. He can move 1 into that, blow that up. Roll a d6 to heal. If you heal at least 2, you get up to charge. And then you can kind of cheat it out to get 2 rolls out of it with charge, because you get 1 roll from the charge action, and then you can get another roll if you do a destroy action from the charge, because that's still like 2 separate actions. So you can charge through another piece of terrain over here, break that, and then, you know, maybe you're next to another terrain, you can make a destroy action on that, blow that up. So you get 2 rolls. Potentially, you know, even if you just heal an average of 2 clicks each time, you'd be on click 7, then 5, and then 3. So pretty easy turn 1 to get him up nearly to top dial. If you get a couple lucky rolls and get a 5 or 6, boom, he's click number 1 on turn 1, and you just saved yourself 80 points. And he's just not even worth attacking at that point, because why do you want to go through all of this just to get 10 points? It's not worth it. It's really hard to fight against him, and nobody likes to do that. So he's just great for 10 points. I love smashing things, healing him up. You know, if he feels the most like a rampaging Hulk, just going around smashing everything, and then, you know, he sees an enemy finally and he just starts swinging on them because they're just in his way and he's angry. He's angry Hulk. He's angry at everything. You know, Hulk's gonna smash. So it's actually just stupid how strong this Hulk is for 10 points. It's so easy to heal him all the way up to top dial for only 10 points. I love the fact that he's a prime, actually, because the green ring, you know, he's Hulk, he's green, that's like his thing. So yeah, he's only 10 points, which is just nuts. I can't, it's like unfathomable sometimes how cheap that is to be able to get this kind of a dial for 10 points. You know, that's the whole thing. That's like, why would I want to pay 200 points for a Hulk when I can get this one? So I love this Hulk, 10 out of 10 figure, best Hulk in the game, hands down. And for all those reasons, that's why he's coming in at number 1. All right, you guys, so that does it for my top 5 list. Make sure you let me know in the comments below what your favorite Hulks are. If you enjoyed the video or got anything out of it, don't forget to smash that like button because it does help me out a lot. And don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. But if you'd like to help support the channel even more, check the links in the description for the Patreon or hit that join button down there for the YouTube memberships. Either way, for as little as $1 a month, you get entered into our monthly giveaways and you get to see your name here in the credits with all these other awesome people. So if that interests you, make sure to check that out. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Till next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.